channel where we test the claims the internet makes so you don't have to gamble your paycheck finding out. Today, we're talking about a solvent that costs less than $1, sits on the shelf at every hardware store in America, and clears a clogged catalytic converter in a single tank of gas. I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Adrian, that sounds like the kind of thing my uncle forwards me in a chain email at 2 in the morning. Stay with me, because the data from this test genuinely shocked me. What a failing catalytic converter actually costs. Let me start with the number that made me pursue this test in the first place. A brand new OEM catalytic converter for a 2017 Toyota Camry costs between $800 and $1,200 in parts alone. Add 2 to 3 hours of labor at a dealership rate of $150 per hour, and you're looking at a total bill between $1,100 and $1,600. For one part that was working perfectly fine 5 years ago, and that your mechanic will tell you simply wore out from age. That explanation always bothered me. Wore out from age, like it just got tired one morning and decided to stop converting hydrocarbons. Catalytic converters on well-maintained vehicles are engineered to last over 100,000 miles. The precious metals inside, platinum, palladium, and rhodium, don't dissolve. They don't evaporate, they don't wear out the way brake pads wear out. So why are millions of drivers replacing catalytic converters at 60, 70, 80,000 miles and being told that's completely normal? The answer isn't age, it's contamination, and contamination is a very different problem with a very different solution. Here's what a failing catalytic converter actually feels like before the check engine light confirms your worst financial fears. Your car hesitates under acceleration, especially from a stop. You notice a sulfur smell, that rotten egg odor coming from the exhaust that everyone assumes means something catastrophic. Fuel economy drops 2 to 4 miles per gallon seemingly overnight. On cold mornings, the engine stumbles for the first minute of driving. And then one day you're sitting at a light and the car barely pulls itself through the intersection. Every single one of those symptoms I just described showed up in at least 2 of the 4 cars I tested for this video. The dealership's answer to every one of those symptoms is the same. Your catalytic converter has failed. You need a replacement. That'll be $1,200. Will you be paying by card today? What they don't tell you is why it failed, and more importantly, whether it actually needs to be replaced at all. What your mechanic won't tell you about cat converters. Here's the chemistry lesson nobody gave you when you bought your car. A catalytic converter works by forcing exhaust gases through a ceramic honeycomb substrate coated with those precious metals I mentioned. The metals trigger chemical reactions that convert toxic gases, carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, nitrogen oxides, into water vapor and carbon dioxide. That substrate, the honeycomb core, has to stay clean and open for exhaust gases to flow through freely. When it gets contaminated, flow restriction begins. Back pressure builds. The engine starts suffocating on its own exhaust. Now here's the part that should make you furious. The #1 cause of catalytic converter contamination in vehicles under 150,000 miles isn't age, and it isn't mechanical failure. It's carbon buildup from incomplete combustion. And carbon buildup is almost entirely caused by one specific driving habit that half of America practices every single day: short trips. When you start a cold engine and drive less than 10 minutes before shutting it off, the catalytic converter never reaches full operating temperature. Full operating temperature for a catalytic converter is between 700 and over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, the chemical reactions happen efficiently.